They say you should never lend money to friends unless you're willing to lose both. I thought I was the exception. I thought our 15-year bond was stronger than a bank transfer. I was wrong. I lent my best friend $20,000 when he was drowning. I didn't ask for interest. I didn't ask for a contract. 6 months later, he wasn't just refusing to pay me back. He was auditing my life to prove I didn't need the money back. To him, my success became his excuse to steal. Let's establish the baseline. I'm a 37-year-old man. My best friend, Mark, is 36. We go back to college dorms. Ramen noodles, cheap beer, and big dreams. We started at the same level. Broke. But over the last decade, our paths diverged. I obsessed over my career. I worked 80-hour weeks. I invested. I sacrificed my 20s to build a safety net. Mark enjoyed his 20s. He traveled. He bought the new cars. He lived for the moment. I never judged him. We were brothers. Then the crash happened. Mark lost his sales job. He had zero savings. He had maxed out credit cards. He came to my apartment one Tuesday night. He looked gray, defeated. He sat on my couch and couldn't even look me in the eye. He said, "I'm going to lose the house. My wife is going to leave me. I have nowhere else to go." It wasn't a request. It was a confession. I didn't hesitate. I didn't think about risk. I pulled out my laptop. The amount was $20,000. $20,000. To some, that's a fortune. To me, it was a significant chunk of my liquidity. It was my down payment fund for a rental property. But Mark was family. I looked him in the eye and said, "I'm sending this to clear your debts. Pay me back when you get stable. No interest, no rush. Just get back on your feet." He cried. He grabbed my hand and swore on his life. He said, "You saved my life. I will pay back every single cent. You are the best friend a guy could ask for." I believed him. I made the transfer. No DocuSign, no notary. Just a handshake. For the first 3 months, it felt right. He got a new job. He stabilized. He sent texts saying, "Thanks again, bro. I'm saving up." But then, the dynamic shifted. It started with small comments. Microaggressions, as they say. Mark was working again, making decent money. But I noticed he stopped talking about repayment. Instead, he started talking about my spending. I remember I bought a new watch. Nothing crazy, just a nice piece I had wanted for years. I wore it to dinner. Mark saw it. He didn't say, "Nice watch." He smirked and said, "Must be nice to just drop $5,000 on jewelry. Some of us have real bills." I let it slide. I thought he was just stressed. A week later, I mentioned I was booking a trip to Japan. Mark frowned. "Japan? Isn't that expensive?" "You know, if I had your surplus cash, I'd be investing it, not blowing it on sushi." The tone wasn't friendly advice. It was bitter. He was acting like my money was a communal resource. And because I had surplus, he felt justified in keeping his share. The breaking point was a dinner at a steakhouse. 4 of us, me, Mark, and 2 other friends. When the check came, I reached for my wallet out of habit. But I paused. I thought, Mark has a job now. Maybe he'll offer. He didn't. He looked at me, then looked at the check, and laughed. He said loudly so everyone could hear, "Let the rich guy get it. He makes more in a week than we do in a month, right?" The table went quiet. I paid. Again. Later, in the parking lot, I decided to be direct. I said, "Mark, about the 20,000. Now that you're working, we should set up a payment plan. Even 500 a month." His face went cold. He crossed his arms and said the sentence that haunts me. "Why are you pressing me? I see how you live. You don't need that money right now. It's just sitting in your account. Why are you trying to squeeze me when I'm just getting started?" I was stunned. In his mind, my financial stability voided his debt. Because I could afford to lose the money, he decided he didn't have to return it. I didn't argue. I went home. But Mark went on the offensive. He knew I was going to ask again, so he decided to destroy my reputation first. He started telling our mutual friends a twisted version of the story. A friend called me a few days later and said, "Hey man, Mark is really upset. He says you're holding a loan over his head to control him. He says you're constantly checking his spending and judging him." I was checking his spending? He was the one judging my watch. He told people I was a predatory lender disguised as a friend. He told them I was rich and greedy and that I was trying to ruin him over pocket change. He weaponized my success against me. He turned me into Scrooge and himself into the victim of capitalism. I realized the friendship was dead. The money had killed it. So I sent him a formal demand letter, certified mail, a repayment schedule. He blocked my number. He blocked me on social media. Last I heard, he took his wife to Disney World. On my dime. I lost $20,000. And I lost a best friend of 15 years. But honestly, I think the 20 grand was the price of admission to see who he really was. But the group chat is divided. Half say I should have just forgiven the debt if I'm doing so well. They say friendship is worth more than money. So, I bring the case to the chamber. Was I wrong to demand repayment from a struggling friend? Or is a loan a loan? What is your verdict?